Last night, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Trump debated on the economy, abortion, and immigration. And after that debate was over, Harris got a big endorsement from Taylor Swift. We have team coverage on what this means for the race. NBC 10 political commentator and Swiftie herself, Sue O'Connell, will join us here in just a moment. But first, let's get to NBC 10's Malcolm Johnson. He's got some reaction from young voters around Boston. He's joining us live from the city right now. Malcolm, good afternoon to you. What are those young voters telling you?
Hey, good afternoon, Colton. Well, the voters are telling us a lot of things, but more than anything else, they are saying they want to hear more from the candidates about their policies and less attacks on one another. Additionally, when it comes to Taylor Swift, who you mentioned, they said she will undoubtedly have a big influence on this election.
I'm currently listening to Taylor Swift right now at the moment.
When we met Alexandra Cross, she was playing Taylor Swift, and she's one of the pop star's 284 million followers that saw Swift endorsing Kamala Harris after Tuesday night's presidential debate.
I think it's incredible that she's, willing to show her political opinion, and she has such a huge following.
Many young people feeling this celebrity endorsement will influence the election.
I do think it'll have an impact. I think that she has such a strong fan base and such loyal supporters that will, I don't want to say do anything that she does, but definitely take her opinion into high regard.
As for the debate,
I don't want to know why they suck and why you're not as bad as them. I want to know why you are good and why you're better than them.
Many young voters were left wanting more on key issues like abortion.
I didn't appreciate how Donald Trump just brushed over it, and every time he was asked again and again and again, he would just change the topic. As a woman, I really wanted him to say more and speak up about Roe v. Wade and the protection.
And on climate change, voters didn't feel the candidates detailed their policies.
For me, as a young person who's somebody who has to, live with this for the next however many years, that's something that I find very important, and I want to know at least what they see about it and what they want to do about it, not what this person doesn't want to do about it or what they are doing wrong about it.
Those we spoke with, under 30, also wanted to hear more about the economy.
Younger people who are under the age of 35 are really struggling, especially after graduating from college when they have so much student loan debt. The prospect of buying a home seems completely out of reach.
After last night's debate, some are hopeful to hear the candidates debate once more.
I really just wanted to learn more, so hopefully they do have another debate so we can get a little bit more from them.
No confirmation just yet, Colton, as to whether or not we will see another debate. But back to Taylor Swift's influence, or at least what it might look like. NPR is already reporting that more than 300,000 people have visited the vote.gov link that she included in her endorsement of Vice President Harris just last night. We're reporting in Boston. I'm Malcolm Johnson, NBC 10 Boston.
Yeah, it is undoubtedly going to have an impact on this race. Malcolm, thank you. Let's bring in NBC 10 political commentator Sue O'Connell joining us once again right now. Sue, let's talk about this, right? Many conservatives out there, they believe that Trump could have been stronger last night on the debate stage. He was asked twice if he wanted Ukraine to win its war against Russia. He didn't answer. He never gave an answer. He said that immigrants were stealing and eating pets in Ohio, which has been debunked. He claimed that he won the 2020 election and wouldn't change anything about January 6th. We all know how that turned out. So, listen, the thing with him, though, is that Trump supporters, they love when he says stuff like that. But today, many of the same supporters are even saying that he didn't do well. A lot of the folks on Fox News. If they like when he says what's on his mind, why are they unhappy that he said what was on his mind?
That's a very good question, Colton. Look, Trump, he didn't really say anything new last night. The content might have been new, but the whole idea, as you said, it's the usual Trump. But it wasn't what he said on, look, I'll be generous and call them policy issues, right? It was that he couldn't keep himself from saying the crazy cuckoo talk. Look, Trump's job last night was simple. It was not to lose voters and to look normal enough to suppress turnout of those undecided voters, especially in the swing states. He had to not look like a danger to the country if elected. So his talk about eating dogs, accusing Harris, we didn't even get to this today, of wanting to provide transgender operations on illegal aliens in prison. That's what he said. It made many of his supporters very nervous, Colton.
Well, let's talk about the vice president right now. Kamala Harris is getting some high remarks for her work last night. Listen, there's no candidate out there ever has a perfect debate. Where do you think she fell short, and what would you advise her to work on for the next debate, pending if there is a next debate?
You know, she got off to a shaky start, which is understandable. She didn't have an answer when asked if Americans are better off now than they were 4 years ago. And she didn't adequately explain how her positions, which have shifted over the years, why they have. And we'll see what voters say this week. But, you know, you heard what the young voters were saying to Malcolm. They want more specificity on policies, like on immigration and the economy. And from a style point of view, I talked to some voters today. They were a bit turned off by her laughing at some of Trump's responses in that split screen there. So I might tone that down just a little bit.
Well, and we'll see if we get another debate, presidential debate. However, we do know, confirmed, that we have Tim Walz, J.D. Vance set to meet for a debate in the beginning of October for the VPs here. Have expectations for each of those guys, have they changed following last night?
Well, since Donald Trump is now the only old man in the race, there's going to be more scrutiny on Vice President J.D. Vance as a potential there. And look, interestingly, Trump threw Vance under the bus in the debate last night, said he didn't talk with Vance about a potential abortion ban. Look, there's less pressure on Walz. But if last night was the only Trump-Harris debate that we get, that VP debate, that definitely elevates it to a must-watch.
All right. As always, Sue, we appreciate your insight. Of course, you can see Sue every weekend right here on NBC 10 Boston. She recaps all of the political headlines with Corey Smith and Matt Pritchard. Tune in, of course, Sundays at 11:30. That is right after Meet the Press with Kristen Welker.